Hey guys, this is Trainer Denoyer, and this is my first YouTube video. If you want to know more about myself, I guess I can tell you why I started making videos on Pokemon. I've been a fan of this franchise since I was a little kid, and it just amazes me how much it has evolved and grown over these years. We have eight different generations. Nine is coming up shortly, and although I do play competitive Pokemon on Pokemon Showdown from time to time, the most intriguing part of the franchise to me is the storytelling. There have been both good and bad parts about the Pokemon anime, and I think that we all have our favorite characters and our favorite moments in that anime. However, I think a subject on which most Pokemon anime fans will unanimously agree is that Paul was our favorite rival if you exclude the nostalgia from Gary. He was intense, he was absolutely firm and believed in his methods of using pure strength to become the best trainer possible. So, following the trend of what ifs, as I will provide you some links in the description about some channels which inspired me to start a YouTube channel to cover to cover some what if storylines for you guys. I will definitely provide some link and you can go check them out. Other than that, the topic I want to start my channel with is definitely a story of Paul. For as long as we have known Paul, we can figure out that his goal is just like that of any generic trainer, that is to become the strongest. But Diamond and Pearl emphasized upon this and actually revealed that the motivation behind his intense training was that he witnessed his big brother Reggie lose to Brandon in the finale of the Battle Frontier. So that's what drove him to become stronger than his brother and do what he couldn't do. However, as we know, it didn't quite play out in his favor as he was defeated by Brandon and then lost a very close battle to Ash at the Sinnoh League. And after that, we have not seen him so far in the series. However, there are always rumors of him returning, especially fueled by the return of Iris and other characters in the Pokemon Journey series. So, what better time to cover a detour story for Paul? This is What If Paul Challenged the Battle Frontier. Now, as you can see by the thumbnail, I will be making some necessary changes into the story by giving him new Pokemon, which I think could suit his character development a lot better and provide you guys with a good story. Other than that, the story will be taking place just about the time Ash departs for his journey to the Kalos region. So everything in the story will be as per Gen 6 mechanics. I mean, as far as the anime permits us to use the game rules in Pokemon battles. So without further ado, here is What If Paul Challenged the Battle Frontier, Chapter 1. Paul was in his hometown in Bellstone City. Since his loss to Ash at the Sinnoh League, he had been training hard for an entire year with his Pokemon, trying to emphasize more on learning new techniques and providing his Pokemon with his emphatic side, which he had not shown other than comforting Electivire after his loss. We can see that we can see that Torterra is training with Weavile to to get to get adapted to fighting at a disadvantage. His Gliscor is training with his Drapion, so his Drapion could learn not to make the same mistakes it made against Ash's Gliscor. And his Honchkrow, on the other hand, is training with Barry's Staraptor to improve its speed. Barry, who has I'm sorry, Reggie. Reggie, who has been helping Paul train for over the past year, is watching his training going on, and is quite happy with the progress he's made. So he walks over to Paul and asks him the same question: Is he happy with the progress that he's made? Paul, being Paul, says that he's definitely happy with how far he has come after his loss, but there is always room for improvement. Reggie tells Paul that he's happy to hear that, and this is about time that Paul left for his next journey. Paul asks him what does he mean, and Reggie says that the only journey that matters to him right now, and that is to do something that he couldn't do, win the battle frontier symbol against Brandon. However, Paul instantly agrees to this, but Reggie knows that deep down he is still haunted by his crushing defeat to Brandon. And because of his time off from the game, Reggie suggests him that instead of challenging only Brandon, he should challenge all the Frontier brains one by one to get the groove of battling once more. Since there is a big difference between sparring battles and a real Pokemon battle, Paul agrees and tells him that when does he depart. Reggie tells him that he will make a call and soon enough they will find out. Reggie immediately calls Scott, who is in the Kanto region right now, and asks him to register Paul as a challenger for the Battle Frontier. Scott instantly agrees and tells him that he is in Pallet Town currently and he will send a private plane just to pick up Paul because Scott is rich as well. The plane arrives a few hours later and Paul packs his bags and gets ready to leave. Before leaving, Reggie gives him a piece of advice. He tells Paul that previously he relied on his strength and only his strength to win battles. This time he should be open to more ways of winning a battle, as there are endless possibilities, which was proven by Ash using his belief and love in his Pokemon to defeat Paul. Paul nods, but is still skeptical about the whole thing. As Paul arrives in the Pallet-Town airport, he is immediately greeted by Scott, who takes him to none other than Professor Oak's ranch. There we see a young boy with green hair and a green T-shirt handing Professor Oak a briefcase. This, of course, is Max, who is a little bit grown up now. Oak greets Scott and Paul and asks him how Professor Rowan is doing. Paul greets Professor Oak and tells him he's good. Max recognizes Paul from the Sinnoh League and tells him that he was a much better trainer than Ash that battle and used better strategies. But Ash, being Ash, always comes up with an out of box thinking to flip over any strategy and strength on its head. Paul thanks Max for the weird compliment, and Professor Oak why don't asks Paul to rest up for the day and depart next thing in the morning. Paul agrees and asks Professor Oak if there are any Pokemon in his ranch. Professor Oak says there are and gladly introduces him to a lot of Pokemon. Most of them are Ash's Pokemon throughout his journey. As Paul sees them, he is mesmerized by how many strong Pokemon Ash has captured. There is the Sceptile which managed to defeat the Darkrai at the Sinnoh League, and there is also a Charizard. However, Paul's eyes catch glimpse of his old Pokemon, Infernape. He immediately recognizes Paul and comes over to him, greeting him. However, Paul can see that Infernape is here for only one thing, and that is a battle. As he looks at the fire monkey, he almost feels the Pokemon's eyes staring through his soul. Paul nods and asks Professor Oak if he is going to command Infernape. Professor Oak tells him that Infernape is quite comfortable battling on his own. Although Charizard is the strongest Pokemon, Infernape has been training non-stop to get there, and he has not only learned some new moves, but also learned the ability not to rely on his plays and use his natural instead use his strength to win battles. And he has trained with such high level Pokemon that he that mo- that most of the times you don't need the command of a trainer to win battles. Paul is impressed by this and sends in his Electivire. This of course is a trilogy battle between the two Pokemon. As we all know, Electabuzz defeated Monferno in the Lake of Acuity battle, and Infernape defeated Electivire in the Sinnoh League. However, these two battles were really close and could have gone either way. This third battle, however, is completely different. Although Electivire has grown stronger, this battle is not even close. Infernape effortlessly overpowers Electivire and defeats him without even using his plays. Paul is stunned by the loss and thinks to him that how a Pokemon without his trainer commands managed to defeat his Electivire who has been training with him for the past year. Oak tells Paul not to get too hard on himself or not to get too hard on himself, as as Infernape has been training with nothing but the strongest Pokemon Ash had. Paul, however, is still distraught, and and during the lunch he asks Professor Oak why Ash didn't use his Pokemon in the Sinnoh. Professor Oak tells him that Ash likes to venture into a new region with only his Pikachu, and that's why he is able to learn more about Pokemon as most of the time it's a fresh start for him. Paul thinks about it during after he goes to bed. Paul thinks about this concept of starting over and going back to his roots as a Pokemon trainer. The more he thinks about it, the more it makes sense to him. Ash was able to defeat his flawless strategy despite not having his best Pokemon like Charizard and Sceptile with him. And this just proves Paul that sometimes brute strength and strategy does not win you a battle. Paul realizes that he needs to start over and he needs to go back to his roots of becoming a Pokemon trainer. So the next morning, before leaving Professor Oak's lab, he asks him his permission to leave all his Pokemon so that they could train with Ash's Pokemon and get stronger. Professor Oak gladly agrees to this but asks Paul what Pokemon will he take with him. Paul says that he would appreciate a starter Pokemon which he gives to the beginning trainers. Professor Oak tells that unfortunately all the Kanto starters have run out and that is why he called Max to bring him some Hoenn starters, and if Paul wants that. Paul agrees and he instantly picks Torchic. He thought about picking Charmander to make things right with the whole Chimchar situation, but Torchic will do in this case. Max tells him that his sister had a Torchic which evolved into a powerful Blaziken and gave Ash's Sceptile a hard time in the final battle. It's a shame that she uses it in contests rather than battle. Paul takes the Torchic and and sets out on his journey to the battle frontier. However, before that, he knows that he needs to train up his Torchic, and so he will go back to his roots as a Pokemon trainer into the Viridian Forest, so that his Torchic could have an advantage over the wild bug Pokemon there. And who knows, maybe he will encounter some powerful trainer there. As as Paul releases the Torchic, he notices that unlike the other Torchic, this one is not overly happy and excited. It admires Paul as his trainer, but it is more serious than the other. Of course, because this Torchic is of a serious nature, and it immediately suits Paul. As he passes by Ash's house, he thinks to himself that if you can do it, then so can I. And thus begins his journey to conquer the battle frontier. Thanks for watching, guys. I know that I stumbled a lot in this video because it's my first time recording, and it feels weird for a it feels I don't know, like weird and awkward, and that's why I fumble a lot. But give me some time. I will work on this, and if this video hits 20 likes, I will start preparing. Actually, I have already prepared a script for part 2 and part 3. So if this video gets 20 likes, I will start preparing the next part. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will provide you with some links for other amazing what ifs from other content creators. So please check them out as well.